Hey guys, TarantulaSam here and welcome to my channel. For this video I'm going to be doing my tarantula tag, and just real briefly for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a video series that was started by Tarantula Cat. In her first video she answered a series of questions and then tagged somebody else that has a tarantula related YouTube channel, and then they answered those questions and tagged somebody else and so forth. So it's my turn. I've been tagged. I was tagged by Erin W. Smith, and I will be tagging someone else at the end of this video. So for those of you who are interested in these tag videos, I will post a link down below to Tarantula Cat. She's got a playlist of all of the tarantula tag videos, and I will be posting a link down below as well to Erin W. Smith's YouTube channel. So with that being said, I'll jump in and get started. Alright guys, question number one is, how did you get into tarantulas? And to answer this question, I'm going to start back when I was really young. Ever since I can remember, I've been really interested in bugs, and a lot of that interest came from my grandpa's backyard. My grandparents, they lived in Springville, Utah, right at the foot of the Wasatch Mountains, and my grandpa was actually a beekeeper, and he had a lot of beehives in his backyard, and his backyard kind of sloped up into the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains. There were all sorts of bugs in his backyard. I remember being able to find grasshoppers, centipedes, all sorts of spiders, and I was just fascinated by them when I was younger. As well, I would always ask my grandpa if he could go out to the beehives and catch drone bees so I could hold them, as the drones, they don't have any stingers. One day in their yard, I was with my aunt and my cousin, and we just saw this huge spider come crawling across one of their walkways, and I was just totally fascinated by this spider, and it was a tarantula. Later I found out that it was a mature male, a Phonoplma iodeus. They're native to the Wasatch Front of Utah, and I was just totally fascinated by this tarantula, and I actually ended up catching a few and taking them home. They of course didn't live very long as mature males, so I eventually convinced my parents to let me get a pet store tarantula, thinking that the wild ones didn't just live very long, because at that point I didn't really understand the difference between the males and the females as a young kid. So I had the one pet store tarantula growing up as a teenager, and then I kind of lost interest in keeping them as pets. Until fast forward a number of years, I find myself in Lincoln, Nebraska. I was attending the College of Law there at the university, and I didn't have a lot of time on my hands, and I was very stressed all the time, and I really just got this idea in my head one day that I just really wanted a pet. But I knew I couldn't take on a lot of pets for the time commitment that you needed, and I remembered my tarantula from when I was younger, and how it didn't require a whole lot of time. So I got my heart set on a tarantula, and I began looking, and on a summer vacation between semesters of law school, I actually met with a breeder and picked up 4 spiderlings, and my collection has grown ever since then. So that's how I got into tarantulas, and now I'll move on to the next question. Alright guys, question number 2 is, what was your first tarantula? And for this question, answering it, I'm going to tell you the first few tarantulas I had, because I kind of have a successive order on how I got into the hobby. And so you already know from my first question that the first tarantulas I kept were the mature male Phonoplma iodeuses that I captured in my grandparents' yard. I had 2 of those. They lived between 4 and 6 months each. And after that, I was able to talk my parents into letting me purchase a pet store tarantula for my birthday. And that tarantula that I purchased was an Phonoplma moderatum, a subadult female. And I had her for a few years. She probably passed away prematurely, and it was probably due to my inexperience and my lack of information as a teenager and how to care for tarantulas, unfortunately. Later, as I found myself in law school wanting a pet, I picked up 4 spiderlings, and those spiderlings were the start of my current collection, and they were an Acanthoscurria geniculata, a Grammostola pulchripes, a Brachypelma smithii, now Homorii, and a Brachypelma EMILIA. All right, guys, question number 3 is a hard one. It is, what is your favorite species? And I thought about it, and you know, if I only could keep one species of tarantula, it would be the Salmopoeis cambridgei. I really like the pecams. They're really neat. I really like their coloration, the greens and the oranges with that chevron pattern on their abdomen. Really like their mannerisms as well. They're super bold. They're often out in the open. They get pretty big, and it's really neat to watch them hunt, and I would often just find mine doing strange things as well, so it was pretty entertaining. Definitely one of my more entertaining tarantulas. I had a mature male that grew up and matured, and I ended up selling to a breeder, and I just replaced him with another sling, so I'm really excited to watch that one grow. And I've got my fingers crossed that it's a female this time. If not, they grow quickly, so I will just get another one. Any of you guys who don't have a pecam in your collection, you definitely need to get one. All right, question number 4 is also a hard one, and it is, what is your dream tarantula? For me, this changes probably on a weekly basis, but today I think my dream tarantula is the Salmopoeis victorii. I think come on, it's half black and half orange. It's just a really cool spider. But there are an awful lot of other really cool spiders that I don't have, but that's the one I'm going to go with for this video, the Salmopoeis victorii. All right, question number 5 is a bit easier. It's, how many tarantulas do I have? I currently have 27 tarantulas and 2 true spiders, so a total of 29 spiders, 27 of which are tarantulas. All right, guys, question number 6 is more of a command. It is introduce a tarantula. So this is the tarantula I'm going to introduce. This is my CARIBENA cyanopubescens. I have 3 of these. This one is the biggest. She is a subadult female. She's pushing about 4 inches now, and I understand they're supposed to get to about 5. We named her Joanna, and Joanna likes to web, as do all CARIBENA cyanopubescences, or the GBBs, except for the broken ones. If your GBB is not webbing, I tell you it's broken. My other 2 web a ton as well, and it's been a really fun species to keep. They're a bit fast and a bit skittish, but they're great eaters, and I really enjoy keeping this species. All right, guys, question number 7 is more of a command as well. It's feed a tarantula. I just pulled out my Acanthoscurria geniculata to feed her, and she got curious and decided to crawl out of her enclosure. So I don't know how this is going to work. She's got very big teeth, so I don't really want to coax her with my hand because I do not want her to tag me. There's already been... What are you doing? I'm going to have to get you back in your enclosure. Maybe I should have introduced this tarantula. This is my crazy Acanthoscurria geniculata bellatrix. She's always hungry, usually. I've never ever had her crawl out of her enclosure like this. The trick is going to be getting her back in now. Let's try tossing her a cricket, I guess, and see what she does. She's always hungry. Yep. There we go. I've never, ever fed a tarantula on my carpet before. I think she's confused as well. But there you go. Now she's going to happy dance and web on my carpet. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get a tarantula with a mouthful of food back in her box. Well, there you guys go. This is probably one of the more unique feeding videos you've gotten on these tarantula tags. And I am going to go before I've got these crickets running around and I lose them. But anyways, feed a tarantula. Here you go, guys. Fed my Acanthoscurria geniculata on my carpet. All right, guys, question number 8 is also a very difficult one, and I've noticed that many other tarantula YouTubers that have been tagged struggle with this question. It is, what is your favorite tarantula YouTube channel? I don't really have a favorite is my problem. There's a number that I enjoy watching. Some of those being The Dark Den. I really like his Enclosure ideas. I really like Tom Moran. I like Tarantula Dan, and there's a bunch of others that I'm just going to stop listing them that I do like and I do follow consistently. So that's my answer for this question. All right, guys, question number 9 is, do I have any other exotic pets? And my answer is... All right, guys, this is my exotic pet. This is my Ryan. They're very rare. There's only one of them in the world, in fact, and he's a pretty cool little buddy. He's a lot more cuddly than the spiders. He also spits a lot more. So just wanted to introduce you to my exotic pet, the Ryan. Again, there's only one of these in the world. Very rare.
Okay.
Here's my other exotic pet. This is a Lydia, also very rare. Only one of these in the world as well. I don't know how I got so lucky to get such exotic pets. Also more cuddly than the spiders, but quite a bit messier. The spiders don't mess the room up quite as bad as this one. So if you ever look into getting yourself a Lydia, just be warned. They're pretty messy in their bedrooms. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, question number 10 is the question that was asked to me by Erin, and that question is, what is the most creative enclosure I have, or that I'm using as a creative container I'm using as an enclosure, or what is the most creative container I've seen used as an enclosure? And I'm sorry, Erin, but I don't have a lot of creative enclosures. I use these Hobby Lobby display cases and a few deli cups, and that's it. They work for me, and so that's what I use. The most creative enclosure I've probably seen that I really like is on the Dark Den's channel. I really like his wall hanging enclosure. It's kind of out of that shadow picture frame box type of shelf that he made. I'll link that video below. And then the most useless, probably creative enclosure that I've seen is again the Dark Den. His cone-shaped enclosure from the chocolate packaging. I don't think I'd ever use something like that. Sorry, Dark Den, it's just, that one wasn't for me. So that is my answer to your question, Erin. And now this is the part of the video where I get to tag somebody else. And for my tag, I am going to tag Rachel's 8-Legged Wonders. And Rachel, the question I have for you is, what would your advice be to somebody who is just getting into breeding? Before they get into breeding. And I ask you this question because I myself am thinking about getting into breeding this year, and would like to get your advice, and I appreciate it. Anyways, so that was my Tarantula Tag video. I thank you guys for watching, and I will look forward to seeing what Rachel on Rachel's 8-Legged Wonders gets put together for us.